I'm Darius Oliver, and I help people to look within and find clarity and direction in their constantly changing lives. Tune in and listen with me as I go deep into your patterns and personal cycles through divine numerology. Any life transition you're experiencing can be illuminated by an in-depth analysis of your chart. For the first time in Stockton, you now have access to a professional numerologist here to help you light your own way. I'm in the booth to help you find your own truth. Tune in to Divine Numerology every Friday at 3 p.m. on The Voice of Stockton.
KXVS on 92.1. Coming soon.
Hello, Stockton. This is Darius with Divine Numerology. We're here on the Voice of Stockton, KXVS 92.1, and we're here to talk about the numbers. We're here to talk about the cycles of life, the circle of life. We're here to talk about it all. And today is the very first airing. Welcome to what you're about to experience, to what is about to exist, what is about to create itself. What is about to exist is something that is much bigger and much greater than myself. This is the culmination of something that is just now is the time for the result of that which this comes into existence. I'm just the conduit through which it is coming. And we will enjoy this ride together. We will watch it unfold as it unfolds. And thank you for joining me and being with me at this time. So you saw the title of this show is Divine Numerology. And a lot of people out there probably wondering, what is numerology? And after I find out what numerology is, what is it that makes it divine? What does divine mean? Why is it important, and how does it apply to me? Does it have to do with anything that I can't see, or what? What is this? So what I want to do is, I heard this speaker named Simon Sinek, and he always spoke about starting with why. So I'm going to start with why. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about my story, what it is that this is, and why it is that we're doing this, why I'm doing this. So we've been going through a lot of transitions lately in Stockton, in different parts of the world, in different parts of different cities, the country. And a lot of people are confused. They're not quite sure of where they're going at this time or what the direction of life is. It seems like things are so out of control sometimes. It seems like there's not a plot, there's not a storyline that's written. It just seems like things are kind of whirling and just going out of control sometimes. And so, along with all the transitions people are experiencing in their lives with business, their relationships, health, and their life purpose, they just want clarity. People just want clarity. And that's a big part of why I'm here. So with this why, this is something for all of us, people who are looking for meaning, people who are looking for a deeper connection with themselves, want to know how to go within and how to get to know other people, how to interact well. And who it is, I'm Darius Oliver, like I mentioned before, but how I got started in this with this numerology was pretty funny, and it was not direct. It wasn't something that I went directly into. It was something that was presented to me several years back, maybe about 7 or so years ago. My background, I have a background in sales and marketing, and in speaking, training people, and business. And a lot of what I do involved working with people and communication. And I was doing pretty well with that. I was going door to door. I was doing training for these companies and these organizations and building in different cities. Started over in California with it, training and teaching people how to go door to door and express themselves, learn how to talk and hold conversations. I found fulfillment in that because I was able to help people to become better and help people to work through weaknesses and develop their weaknesses into strengths. Since I was born and raised in Stockton, California, it was pretty easy for me to do a lot of networking and connect my friends to opportunities in these fields. And it was advantageous for the people that I would come across. So with the various companies that I worked with, I received the opportunity to travel abroad and go to the East Coast and work in Philadelphia and do training over there and learn from the CEOs of the company that I worked with at that time. And it was an awesome experience. I got to travel and taste different foods. They have the best bread in Philadelphia. East Coast has the best bread, the way that they do the wheat. And that, just a little side note. So when I was over there, I'm experiencing all these things and meeting all these different people and just going along with it, just doing it and showing people how to continue to express themselves and how to be genuine, how to open up and get out of their shells. And I did it. I had opportunity to go to New York, go to Miami, go to New Jersey. We went to different places like Camden, all different parts of the East Coast. And it was all involving the same thing, just really spreading it and starting offices and training people. Well, one of the things that I learned before I did all this was in one of my businesses that I got involved in with health and nutrition. It was a company called Your Health. I got involved with them, and one of my mentors asked me one day, we were just sitting at Barnes & Noble, and one of our appointments didn't show up, and he just said, "Hey, Darius, what's your birthday?" And I told him, I was like, oh, okay, my birthday is March 5th. Told him the year. And then he told me, oh, man, you're a life path 2810. And I didn't know what that meant. But I was like, oh, okay, cool. That's interesting. And I just asked him more questions about what it meant. And he told me something that just blew me away. He was able to use that and really bring out some of the qualities that I didn't know that people were able to see. He was able to bring out and help me to express parts of myself that hadn't been addressed before. And I found that very intriguing that he was able to do that with me. And the reason he showed me this was because he said, hey, Darius, I want to show you this. I want to see what I did. I showed you by your birthday things about yourself that you didn't know that I could tell you. I want to show you how to use this when you're working with people. I want to show you how to use this in business so that you can succeed and build successful teams, as long as you're working with me and no matter where you go. And that's how I got originally introduced to numerology. Numerology, what it is the study of numbers. It's the study of numbers and how they show our patterns and our cycles in our life, how we relate and interact with other people, and it shows us upcoming trends in our lives and what to look out for, where the opportunities are coming from, what obstacles or challenges are coming from, what areas are they coming in our relationships or our business, opportunities in life purpose or in health. It gives us indications of where to look so we can brace ourselves or catch the ball when it comes. So he taught me how to do that. And I started very basic, very, very, very basic, just adding up the birthday to see what we get. And with numerology, yes, it's the study of the numbers, but in this case, we're talking about numerology as it refers to people. So he showed me how to add my birthday, which is March 5th, 1991, and to get one single digit. So I added each and every single digit, the 3 plus the 5 plus 1 plus 9 plus 9 plus 1, and that gave me 28. Then I add the 2 and the 8, that gave me 10. Then I add the 1 and the 0, and that gives me 1. With numerology, we add a person's birthday, all the digits inside, we add it according to what's called natural addition. And we keep reducing it until we get one single digit. In my case, it was the 1. And when I originally heard about this, he told me the characteristics of the number 1. In this science, numbers are not just numbers. They don't just give us a quantity of something. That's how numbers are applied in our everyday world, the practical world, accounting, banking, or things like that. But with these systems like numerology, we take it beyond quantity and we look at the qualities that the numbers have. So just like in the quantity, 1 represents just one item or thing or person. With qualities, 1 represents individuality, originality, being willing and able to take risks, being the one to be the first to do something out of a crowd. And it relates to having to shoulder responsibility and take on leadership roles. That's some of the things that my mentor shared with me and that he saw in me after that point, and he helped me to bring out and draw out these qualities so that I was able to use these consciously. The number that I just shared with you is what's called the life path number. The life path number is the sum total of our birthday added all together, our month, day, and our year, till we get that one digit. And since every number, you can think of it as a personality or a quality or an energy or a frequency or a wavelength. The 1 would be confidence and creativity, originality. The 2, if I go down the list, would be cooperation and balance. Working as part of teams, working with groups and other people, making sure others are comfortable. The 2 is the mother, the divine mother, the sacred feminine. It represents all that is the opposite of the number 1. It represents great cooperation and ease of interaction with other people. And it also represents being the support. It goes planetary too, because the numbers all are represented by a different planet. And this, depending on who you speak to, is going to dictate or show what planet it represents. In this case, the 1 represents the sun. 2 is represented by the moon. Then you have the number 3. 3 is the energy of expression and sensitivity. It deals with being able to express oneself authentically. 3 is the number of joy. It's the number of entertainment, of dance, of comedy. A lot of the famous speakers, a lot of famous comedians like Conan O'Brien are Life Path 3s. And they share these qualities and they're able to exhibit it. The next number in that the categories, the order, is the number 4, and that's process and stability. This deals with systems and structures. These are managers. These are our public workers. They work very well with people, and they tend to be very popular. They just get along with everyone. They just have this tendency to get at ease with people. 4 is roots. 4 is the root, where the sun represents 1, the 2 represents the moon, 3 is Jupiter, and then 4 would be Uranus. Another thing about 4 is that it's incredibly unpredictable, and it tends to like to challenge the status quo. It tends to like to do things that go against the grain and plays devil advocate. Even when it may seem unnecessary, even when the 4 person agrees or sees that something, okay, look, this makes sense, the number 4 will question it or give an opposite answer than what's expected, just for the sake of doing it, just for the sake of introducing an opposite thought. Then we have the 5, which is the freedom and discipline. With 5, we have someone or an energy that is very curious, very sharp, very quick-witted. Their brain is constantly moving, thinking. It's represented by the planet Mercury. This stone here is really cool. It's really interesting. This stone that's in front of this camera, if you can see it, is called cinnabar, and it resonates with the number 5. So one thing as we go along is learning about the different numbers and how they relate to minerals on the planet. 5 resonates with this stone here. It's the little red point that you see. That's where the actual cinnabar is. 5, and cinnabar specifically deals with communication. Resonates with the number 5. Today is the 5th day of the 5th month. Cinco de Mayo. Happy Cinco de Mayo, everybody, to everyone who's listening to and tuning in with us. Thank you for tuning in with us. That number 5 has a strong resonation, and it's strongly felt. Since I'm born on the 5th, I know that it will be wise for me to use this mineral, especially on this day, for this purpose, specifically because this stone deals with communication and enhancing it. So it's really cool to have. So then that's number 5, and it corresponds to the planet Mercury, like I mentioned before. We have 5s. 5s are great. They're teachers. They communicate to people on a broad level internationally. It's the number of telecommunications and things like that. Then we have the number 6, which is Venus. And Venus, this right here is love, balance, harmony, everything that is bringing joy to the spirit, beauty, cosmetics, good food, good music, entertainment, the arts. And it's represented also by different colors like the color green. 6 is everything having to do with the home, the family, and showing love and support within that arrangement. 7 is trust and openness, and it deals with the planet Neptune, which is a very spiritual, highly spiritual vibration, very sensitive. And Neptune is also recognized as a planet of illusions. 7 wants us to look into our inner truths. It wants us to find out who we really are. And it wants us to be able to contact our inner truth and help other people to find that inner truth within themselves. Because if we're not guided by our inner truth, then we're going to be led about by our illusions that our mind creates. That's the lesson that the 7 teaches. And Neptune is one of the planets that assists us with that. Then we have the number 8, and that corresponds with abundance and power, connection and disconnection. It's associated with money because what it does, it's a number of connection and disconnection, and that is involving our desires, the things that we want. So since the society we live in, a lot of the people desire money. It's a world largely driven by the desire for money. 8 connects people with money or disconnects it from that desire, depending on how well they use their judgment. Different cultures use the number 8 specifically for telephone lines. That's why you see a lot of 800, 888, full 8 numbers, just complete all the way 9 or 10 8s following consecutively for a phone number. Those numbers, if you actually wanted to purchase that, cost a lot of money because of the power and the impact that they have. The 8 is the person who does things on a grand scale. They love to accomplish big things. They're incredibly social. 8 is ruled by Saturn. And Saturn is incredibly serious. People who are run or ruled by the planet Saturn or influenced by the energies of the number 8 tend to come off very serious and may be misunderstood by many people because they have such strong energies. And it deals with that abundance and that power. So it deals with not being overly, not taking too much control or being controlling, but making sure that there's a balance. That's why the 8 has 2 circles. It's not being too much power, and it's not giving away your power, but it's being right in the center, right in the middle, and empowering other people once you found your own. Then we come to the 9, which is wisdom and integrity. And 9, this number here, is the one that's experienced all the lessons of 1 through 8. It's the old soul. It's the humanitarian, the philanthropist, the one who wants to give back, the universal big brother or sister. They want to give and help people just for the sake of giving and helping people. This number is very interested in the affairs of others and how things affect the whole. They tend to be really good at whatever it is that they do because they've been here many times and they've done things many times before they came to this planet. This number is one that's really strongly concerned with the sense of right and wrong and wants to make sure that it is setting a great example because that's what it's highly aware of. So I give you this little recap, this little explanation, a brief explanation of the numbers so you can have it and look at. If you happen to be having if you happen to have a notepad or a pen or paper or anything, and you happen to write them down, awesome. That was a little introduction. We're about to go into a break shortly. Right after the break, we're actually going to go and do a live reading with the person that's in the room with me. His name is Gustavo, and he's doing the equipment for me for the show. For this is the first airing ever, so thank you guys for joining me for it. We're going to go and do this reading, and he's going to see what numerology is. He never heard of it. He's never heard of it, never experienced it, never had a reading of any kind. And I haven't told him anything. He's sitting there smiling. So he doesn't know quite what to expect. Just as many of my clients don't know what to expect when I'm about to speak to them. So his reactions, just watch his reactions as we speak. It's not going to be too deep, but it may be deep. And it's going to be very intriguing. And if you have any questions or feedback or anything like that, this is to our listeners. Feel free to message me or ask me any questions on my page on Facebook. You can go to Divine Numerology, and you can also go to Darius Oliver on Facebook. Darius Oliver on Facebook, and also Divine Numerology, and click like, and message me any questions you might have, or if you'd like to have a live consultation with me and see what your numbers are telling you. Okay, we're also going to be doing some giveaways pretty soon, and we have some really cool, awesome guests lined up for you in our later installments. So just stay tuned. Things are gonna get really, 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 really interesting. Okay. This right here is, like I said, the culmination of just time and time and time waiting for this to exist. And the time is coming for what you are about to see this become to create itself. And that's, so we're going to go to break on that one. So Gustavo, thanks. Just put us on break at this point.
Today in school, I learned a lot. In chemistry, I learned that no one likes me. In English, I learned that I'm disgusting. And in physics, I learned that I'm a loser.
Today in school, I learned that I'm ugly and useless. And in gym, I learned that I'm pathetic and a joke. In history, I learned that I'm trash.
Today in school, I learned that I have no friends.
In biology,
In English, I learned that I make people sick. And at lunch, I learned that I sit on my own because I smell. In chemistry, I learned that no one likes
In
me.
biology, I learned that I'm fat and stupid. And in math, I learned that I'm trash.
The only thing I didn't learn in school
The
today,
only thing I didn't learn today.
the only thing I didn't learn
It's why no one ever helps.
Kids witness bullying every day. They want to help, but they don't know how. Teach them how to stop bullying and be more than a bystander at stopbullying.gov. A message from the Ad Council.
Dear Smokey Bear, for teaching us how to prevent wildfires for 70 years, outdoor lovers everywhere want to give you a bear hug.
I want to give Smokey a bear hug for teaching me that a fire isn't out till it's cold.
For teaching me to douse my fire with water, stir the ashes, and douse it again.
For showing me that sparks from a dragon tow chain can start a wildfire.
For being a big fuzzy bear. I like big fuzzy bears.
Happy 70th, big guy. Let's bring it in for a bear hug. Come on.
Wish Smokey a happy birthday using hashtag Smokey Bear Hug. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service, your state foresters, and the Ad
You
Council.
don't usually get a stock tip from a 16-year-old, but I'm here to tell you about a different kind of stock. It's called Better Futures, a stock for social change that's not about making money. Instead, you invest to help students like me go to college, which ends up making the future better for all of us. My name is Alicia, and I'm your dividend.
Invest in better futures with UNCF. Visit uncf.org/invest. A mind is a terrible thing to waste, but a wonderful thing to invest in. Brought to you by UNCF and the Ad Council.
A single ember from a wildfire can travel over a mile. It can ignite and destroy your home and even your community. To that ember, all those branches hanging over your roof might as well be giant matchsticks ready to spark. The pile of dry leaves and twigs clogging your gutters are the perfect kindling to start a fire. And all those debris piles and brush around your yard which you haven't taken care of yet are pure lighter fluid, ready to ignite. There are some fire hazards that aren't clearly marked, and they can impact you and your neighbors. Learn to spot them, because your home is better protected from wildfire damage when your whole community is prepared. Visit fireadapted.org for more tips on how to get started adapting your home and community to wildfires. A public service message brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
All right, so we're back. This is Darius with Divine Numerology, and we're about to start our second segment. And we're here with Gustavo, and we're about to do our very first ever live reading. He's going to record this so that he can have it as a memory. He doesn't know what to expect, never has had a reading before, doesn't know about numerology except now from what I mentioned and what you all heard. And it's going to be really fun. So, how are you feeling, Gustavo?
Scared.
You're feeling good? You feeling scared?
Yeah.
All right, awesome.
Hopefully, I don't want to say like I have a bad impression of this. It's just I want to try because when they asked me to come here to pour up, like I was more like a neurologist, astrologist kind of stuff. So I'm like, okay, that sounds cool. Then I see you doing this. Today it's like, okay, that's a bunch of numbers. I don't know what's going on. Compared to astrology, which is basically the reading of the stars and stuff like that. So this is something new for me.
Okay. Is your mic on?
Yeah, it was off.
Oh, okay, now it's on.
Yeah, I was saying, sorry about that. It's just a custom that I have. Anyways, I was saying, the numerology is something new for me. I'm aware of astrologies. I'm not sure if neurologist is a thing for reading the brain or something like that. But numerologist is something different that I haven't never heard of. And when they asked me to come here, I was expecting a astrologist basically.
Okay.
So I'm like, okay, that's cool. They're going to be reading stars. Maybe I can ask them like a few questions on how things work or something like that. And you told me it's not that, it's numerology. So I'm like, what's that?
Yeah.
And then you start asking me questions about it. I'm like, okay, that's cool. And then I see you like adding stuff with a bunch of numbers. I'm like, what does that mean?
Yeah.
So I'm excited, but I'm scared at the same time.
Awesome.
So
best mix.
I just want to find out what all these numbers are about.
Okay. Awesome. So Gustavo, so you probably heard when I was talking just now, I was talking about what's called the life path number. And what I did, I wrote down your full name and your full birthday. And how this differs from astrology is astrology uses the planets. Astrology uses the planets to give us information about personality types, what's going to happen in people's futures and stuff like that. Whereas numerology relies on the number vibrations that are in a person's name and in their birthday also. So in your case, I added up your full name and your birthday. And so when I added up your birthday, I got that you are having a life path 7. So the life path, this is whenever we talk about the word life path, we're talking about that which you're to learn while you're on this planet. What lesson you're here to learn. What script you're given. And the 7 dealing with trust and openness, it's a very spiritual number, but it deals with being able to open up authentically and being able to trust that your own judgment of people is good. That because with the 7 life path, it puts you in situations where people may have betrayed your trust in the past, and where they may have not met up with your expectations, where it's been something and it has probably affected relationships and being able to relate to others and being able to really look within and find out what's true for you. Because the life path 7 is a spiritual number, it's a truth-seeking number. It gives you a natural curiosity and a very strong brain that analyzes everything, especially in academics, science, spirituality. What?
Okay, I have to say that science is not my strong forte. I mean, at least on academic-wise, I don't think it's like my bread and butter, if I can put it that way.
Interesting. Academically, right?
Yeah.
Okay. You said that the sciences is not your particular area?
It's not.
But what about spirituality?
I guess I'm like a 50-50 on that.
50-50. Okay. I love your honesty. Thank you.
You're welcome.
In this case, we're talking about looking in and finding your own truth. The 7, whether it uses science or spirituality or religion to find its truth, it's always looking for that. That's the most important thing for the 7. It's not what's true for someone else or what's true for me or for him, this other guy. It's what's true when you look within and connect with your heart and your gut and your stomach, and you align all 3 of them. And what is true on your path for you. That's what the 7 is all about. It's all about finding what the bottom line is of things. Does that make sense?
Like, learn, like, just, I wouldn't say digging into, trying to solve like a mystery.
Right.
That kind of way.
Right, yes. In your specific case, your search involves using structures, using systems, stability, the process and stability, and expressing yourself through these structures that you have around you. So your thinking is very methodical and orderly, and it's important for that methodical thought process to be expressed clearly. And that's how you're going. By doing those things, it will help you to look into your truth, to find it and discover it, by using your structures that are around you and expressing yourself. It's kind of like you learn by talking. It kind of reveals your learning style. You learn through expression.
Well, this is an introduction that I've been having for a while now, is that my way of learning stuff is not by studying, picking up a book, but it's more like taking more like hands-on situation.
Right. Exactly.
Okay.
Even though the 7, what's really important is that you get your alone time. It's really important that you do get your alone time so you can charge your batteries up. And so that's the life path of the 7. The expression number is who you are. So this is the number that I get when I add up your entire full name. Gustavo, I won't put it all out there, but I'll just say Gustavo, that's your first name. When I add it all together, I get the number 73. So we have a truth seeker, which is 7, combined with expression and sensitivity. So we have a very sensitive truth seeker. Someone that is, once you actually do find your inner truth and you're able to express it, it leads to you being able to take more of a leadership role in the lives of people around you. You just kind of exert that leadership quality. People can feel it. It's who you are. You're the one. it naturally expresses itself through you. Does this make sense to you?
I'm trying to think of like something that it can connect, like you previously said, from my experiences in my life. But like I can't find anything that says, "Hey, I can take the role of I find my inner self and take the role of a leader." Like I don't think I have find that path yet.
Do you notice that these qualities are inside of you?
Some of them, not all of them. I can't really specifically say which ones, because if I have to go into details, well, I really give one away, which is the hands-on situation. But more than that, I feel like I'm still trying to learn about myself by interacting with people in different ways. And that's where the hands-on situation comes up.
Okay. So as far as you being able to express yourself,
when it comes to express myself, I feel like I express myself, but normally people doesn't see it. Me expressing as a regular person, right? It's more like, hey, you're acting sad. You're not acting like a happy person who is a go-getter. I'm more like into the negative kind of perspective. I personally feel more comfortable on that kind of side.
Okay. All right. Interesting. Some other things that I see in that would be going back again to the life path. When I did another calculation just now, I get the number 16. 16 has to do with the individual, and then 1 has to do with the individual, and the 6 has to do with balance and harmony in relationships. With this 16 and the 7, this is a situation where you wanting to what it presents itself is a challenge between wanting to do your own thing versus the responsibilities of family and those that look to you to take care of them or to assist them, and wanting to do your thing versus helping others, and finding the balance between that. And it may act as a pull. Does this relate to you?
In a way, because I want to do my own things, like you said. I want to do a lot of things, but at the same time, I want to pull people up with me when I do those things. But sometimes I feel like, I think I feel like that's a little bit different. But I feel like I can do the things properly. I can not pull myself on other people at the same time. So I think that's where you say I'm trying to balance the situation, and not just for myself, but for the people I want to help or people who are helping me.
Okay, nice. So basically balancing things for yourself and for those that are helping you.
Yeah.
Okay. So right there we have the life path, and then we have the expression number. Then we have what's known as the soul urge. So we're looking at the different core numbers in your chart. And when we get to the soul urge, what we're talking about is what it is that your desire is, what your motivation is. And this is saying things that lend themselves to stability and security.
I think that's kind of accurate, at least on the insecurity side. Mobility, I'm not really sure, to be honest.
Not necessarily insecurity, but gaining greater stability for yourself.
That's a little bit difficult, since I'm not really sure on the insecurity side now that you're putting it that way. So it's hard to say what specifically it is.
Okay. Because what it is, the soul urge in this case, the 4, it's somebody who naturally will be really good as a manager. Someone who will be really good at working with the public, because it has to do with the number 4.
Oh.
Working with structures, systems, organizations, and managing people under you. The 4's brain and thought process moves in a very systematic and methodical way. And anything that has to do with this type of energy is something that, since it's your soul urge and your motivation, your heart's desire, it is a way for you to find fulfillment and enjoyment.
To be honest, I'm afraid of public speaking, and I'm pretty bad at organizing stuff. So I think as me trying to be a public figure is going to be difficult, because I'm not that kind of person who's like, hey, out here, right? Like I get stage frightened.
Okay. I think it's so awesome that you're telling me these things, because right now you're 21.
Yeah.
Now these numbers, all these numbers, this name is going to stay the same. The birthday is going to stay the same. If we were to do the same reading 20 years from now, it'd be very interesting to see how you've grown into these numbers. I had a reading last night with one of our clients, and she actually was at the mixer last night at the Ave, and we did her reading. She's mature. She is living her life purpose right now. But when I was doing her reading, she said that none of this made sense when she was 25. None of this made sense when she was 20 or such like that. And that's not always the case. But in her case, it was. But what was so interesting is that the numbers would have been the same even if I would have spoken to her when she was 2 years old. What these numbers do is they show us the potentials. They show us what we can do. They show us that untapped potential that's lying within. These are some of the things that my first business mentor showed to me, which when he showed them to me and revealed that I had certain traits, I was able to identify with them inside of me and bring them out even more. So for some people, and for a lot of people, it's actually what it does is it's like, hey, pay attention to this area right here. This may be something that you didn't have your eye on, but it's a really good area of promise for you if you want to look into that area of development.
I see. Just going back a little bit when you said that when one of your clients didn't knew about when she was 20, I think that applies for some people, mainly because if we think about it, some people are people around my age, to be more exact, or probably younger, they don't really know what to do specifically with their lives or what they trying to achieve. They just want to follow people and see if they can eventually be somebody they can be good or somebody they might be regretful. And I think with this kind of readings, it can help people to not like in extremely way to understand themselves, but from like a small portion to understand themselves. Like, hey, if that's how I am, thanks to these numbers, then I shall prove that I can be part of these numbers, acknowledging these numbers, I become a better person, depending on what numbers they have, basically.
So as far as a person being able to use, what you're saying is a person being able to have a reading or have access to this, showing them where they can focus their energy into?
I feel like it.
Okay. Because I remember, because you mentioned that as far as a public speaker or a public figure or anything like that, the 4, this would be anything that's geared toward guarantees. At some point later in the future, you probably would do well as like a speaker or something, but you have the specific number known as the writer's number. So if anyone has ever suggested to you writing a book, I would highly suggest going with that.
That's the funny thing, is that one of my I guess for now it's not going to be a secret project, but I've been wanting to write a mystery detective book, which is something that doesn't go part of my my persona, because I mean I love the mystery stuff, right? But writing books is something that I honestly don't see myself writing, or other people see myself writing, but it's something that I want to do in some point.
Yeah.
So
that's something that will be very beneficial for you. It's directly in your path right there. In fact, when I add up your entire birthday, that is the exact number that I get.
Wow.
It's specifically 34. Just to mention that to you, your personality number is the first impression that you give off. I'll just go over that real quick. Personality number, that's 33. This is the teacher. 33 is what we call one of the master numbers, and it represents a raise in consciousness, a raise in awareness. And that's kind of an effect that people sense when they meet you. Someone who is a good teacher, someone that can communicate and express himself pretty well. That's how you come across. That's how you're perceived, whether or not you're aware of it. That's why it's referred to as that personality number, the 6. Very soft, very humble, very loving in nature, loves to work with the hands. And if you having this number, the 33, combined with that 34 as a life path, gives you great potential to teach through your writings.
Wow.
At some point, if that's something that you desire or feel inclined to do in your life. And then the maturity number, this is the combination of you expressing who you are along the path that you are in life.
Okay.
We're almost off, so we're gonna finish this after we're off the air. But for those of you who heard that was our first live on-air reading with Gustavo, and you've been listening to Divine Numerology with Darius Oliver on KXVS, the voice of Stockton, 92.1. Thanks for tuning in, and you have an awesome afternoon.
Ranger Station, Ranger speaking.
Hi, I'd like to report a bear hug.
Uh-huh, okay.
Well, we were building a bonfire, and I saw some, dry brush and leaves around, so, I said to move the bonfire somewhere else, and out of nowhere, Smokey Bear shows up and hugs me.
So you noticed some wildfire hazards and moved your bonfire to a safer location.